Marcus Whitmore stood at the floor-to-ceiling windows of his Manhattan penthouse, watching the city lights blur through another sleepless night. Behind him, the apartment looked like a war zone, toys scattered across marble floors, paint smeared on leather furniture, and what appeared to be an entire box of cereal ground into the Persian rug. 6 months. 101 nannies. All gone. His 4 sons, ages 3 to 12, had systematically driven away every single caregiver he'd hired. The employment agency had actually blacklisted him last week. Marcus was a hedge fund manager who'd built an empire by age 35, but since his wife Catherine left him for a colleague 2 years ago, his personal life had become a disaster he couldn't manage. Catherine had moved to London, sending monthly checks, but rarely calling the boys. Marcus buried himself in work, and his sons had become wild, angry, and impossible. The oldest, Dylan, had perfected the art of psychological warfare against nannies. The twins, Garrett and Graham, specialized in elaborate pranks. And little Owen simply screamed for hours whenever a new caregiver arrived. "Mr. Whitmore." His assistant's voice came through the intercom. "There's a woman here about the position. She doesn't have an appointment." Marcus sighed. "Send her away. I'm done." "Sir, she's very insistent. Says she drove 3 hours from Pennsylvania." He rubbed his temples. "Fine. 5 minutes." The woman who entered his office the next morning wasn't what he expected. Rosa Martinez was perhaps 60, with silver-streaked dark hair pulled into a neat bun, wearing a simple cardigan, and carrying a worn leather bag. Her brown eyes held a directness that made Marcus sit up straighter. "Mr. Whitmore, I hear you have 4 boys who need guidance," she said without preamble, her accent carrying hints of her Dominican childhood. "I need a nanny, Mrs. Martinez. Someone to keep them alive while I work." "No," Rosa said firmly. "You need someone to raise them. There's a difference." Marcus felt his temper flare. "I've interviewed 100 people. All qualified. All failed. What makes you different?" Rosa smiled. "I raised 7 children in a 2-bedroom apartment in Washington Heights, while working 2 jobs after my husband died. All 7 graduated college. 3 are teachers, 1's a nurse, 1 runs a community center, and 2 started their own businesses. I know something about difficult circumstances, Mr. Whitmore. My boys are particularly challenging. Hurt children often are." Rosa's gaze was steady. "Your sons aren't bad. They are wounded. And they are testing every adult to see who'll actually stay." Something in her certainty made Marcus pause. "The position pays $70,000 a year. Live in. You'd have your own suite. I don't want your money." Marcus blinked. "Excuse me. Let me stay 1 week. Free. If your sons aren't different by then, I'll leave and you owe me nothing." It was the strangest negotiation Marcus had ever encountered. "Why would you do that?" "Because I saw your youngest at the park yesterday." Rosa's expression softened. "He was crying, and his brother told him big boys don't cry. That's how you create broken men, Mr. Whitmore. Someone needs to teach them differently." Against his better judgment, Marcus agreed. Rosa's first day was chaos, exactly as predicted. Dylan, the 12-year-old, immediately went on the offensive. "My dad's rich. He'll pay you double to quit now and save yourself the trouble." Rosa unpacked her small suitcase calmly. "I don't need double nothing. That's still nothing." The twins had prepared a bucket of water above her bedroom door. It soaked her thoroughly. Rosa simply dried off, changed clothes, and said, "Creative. Your uncle probably taught you that one." The boys exchanged confused glances. How did she know about Uncle James's pranks? Little Owen launched into his signature screaming fit when Rosa tried to make dinner. She didn't try to stop him, didn't raise her voice. She just started cooking, singing softly in Spanish while the child shrieked. After 20 minutes, Owen stopped, confused by her non-reaction. "You done, am I amor?" Rosa asked gently. "Good. Now wash your hands for dinner." The first real test came on day 3. Marcus came home early to find his son sitting quietly at the kitchen table, no electronics in sight, doing homework. Classical music played softly. Something smelled amazing on the stove. "What is this?" he asked suspiciously. "Homework hour," Rosa said. "Then dinner together. Then 1 hour of free time before bed." "They'll never stick to that schedule." "They already are." Rosa stirred the pot without looking up. "Children need structure, Mr. Whitmore. Consistency. Someone who means what they say." Dylan suddenly spoke up. "Dad, Rosa helped me with my algebra. I actually understand it now." Marcus stared at his son. Dylan hadn't voluntarily spoken to him in months. Over the next days, Marcus watched a transformation he couldn't quite believe. Rosa never yelled, never begged, never bribed. She simply had rules, reasonable ones, and enforced them with a quiet firmness that somehow worked. When Graham deliberately broke a lamp, Rosa didn't lecture. She handed him a broom. Accidents happen. We clean them up and move forward. When Dylan mouthed off, she said, "That tone tells me you're upset about something. We can discuss it respectfully, or you can sit in your room until you're ready to." When Owen had a tantrum, she sat beside him. "Feelings are okay. Hitting isn't. Let's breathe together." Marcus found himself lingering at home more, fascinated by Rosa's methods. She was teaching his sons to cook, helping them build a model rocket, reading to them every night. The apartment felt different. Warmer point one evening, he found Rosa in the kitchen after the boys were asleep, preparing lunches for the next day. "Why are you really here?" he asked. "You could be anywhere." Rosa was quiet for a moment. "My youngest grandson has autism. His father, my son, works 3 jobs to afford care. I've been helping, but I needed to make money quickly. Then I saw your listing." She met his eyes. "But also, I saw 4 little boys at that park, who looked exactly like mine did after their father died. Lost. Angry. Desperate for someone to see them. I couldn't walk away." Marcus felt something crack in his chest. "I don't know how to be what they need." "Yes, you do. You're just scared." Rosa's voice was gentle but firm. "You work 80 hours a week not because you have to, Mr. Whitmore. Because it's easier than facing how much you've lost. But your sons. They lost the same things you did. And they need you to come back." The words hit like a physical blow, because they were true. The crisis came at the end of the first week. Marcus arrived home to find Dylan's school principal in his living room. His son had gotten into a fight, badly injuring another boy. "Dylan's being suspended for 2 weeks, the principal said grimly. "He's never been violent before. Something needs to change, Mr. Whitmore." After the principal left, Marcus exploded. "What the hell were you thinking? Do you know what this could do to your record?" Dylan's face was stone. "He said Mom left because we're broken. That we're too messed up to love." The room went silent. Marcus felt rage and grief warring in his chest. He opened his mouth to yell, then caught Rosa's eye. She gave a tiny shake of her head. Marcus took a breath. Then another. Then he sat down beside his son. "Dylan," he said quietly. "That boy was wrong. And cruel. But you know what? I've been wrong too. I've been so angry at your mom for leaving that I left too. I'm here, but I'm not here. And you guys have been alone in this." Dylan's tough expression crumbled. "Why didn't she want us?" "Oh, buddy." Marcus pulled his son close as the boy started to cry, 12 years old but suddenly looking 8. "It's not about wanting. Sometimes adults make terrible choices because they are broken inside. But that's on her. Not you. Never you." Owen climbed into Marcus's lap. The twins pressed against his sides. And for the first time in 2 years, Marcus let himself cry with his sons, all of them grieving together. Rosa slipped quietly from the room. When Marcus found her later, she was packing her small suitcase. "What are you doing?" Panic seized him. Did we, the week is up," Rosa said simply. "And I've done what I came to do." No. No, you can't leave. I'll pay you anything. The boys need you. I need you." Rosa smiled. "Mr. Whitmore, those boys don't need me. They need their father. And tonight, they got him back. I don't know how to do this without you." "Yes, you do. You just did." She placed a hand on his arm. "But here's what you're going to do. Cut your hours to 50 a week maximum. Have dinner with your sons every night. Help with homework. Listen more than you talk. And get yourself a therapist, because you're grieving too." Marcus nodded, tears on his face. "And Mr. Whitmore, stop hiring people to love your children for you. They don't need perfect. They need present." Rosa left the next morning. Marcus tried to pay her anyway. She refused everything except gas money, but before she left, she hugged each boy tightly and whispered something in their ears. Later, Dylan told his father what she'd said: "You're not broken. You're just becoming." 6 months later, Marcus's life was unrecognizable. He'd restructured his work schedule, promoted a partner to handle day-to-day operations, and discovered that being present for his sons' lives didn't destroy his career, it clarified it. He knew what mattered now. Dylan was thriving in therapy, and had joined the robotics team. The twins had channeled their creativity into making YouTube science videos. Owen was learning piano. The apartment stayed messier than it used to, but it was filled with laughter and music and the chaos of actual family life. Marcus never did find out Rosa's full story. She'd left no contact information. But one day a card arrived with Pennsylvania postmarks. "Dear Whitmore family, my grandson starts at a special needs school next month thanks to the anonymous donation that covered his tuition. The donor's note said the money came from a family learning to pay forward the grace they received. I don't know how to thank you. R.M. Marcus smiled, touching the card. Then he called his sons for dinner. They donated the money Rosa had refused to accept, plus matching funds, to help her grandson. It seemed right. She'd given them back their family. This was the only way they could say thank you. As they sat around the table, Dylan helping Owen cut his food, the twins arguing cheerfully about their latest video, Marcus actually present and listening, he realized Rosa had taught them the most important lesson: wealth wasn't about money. It was about showing up, doing the hard work of loving people through their brokenness, and letting yourself be loved through your own. The millionaire, who'd fired 101 nannies, finally understood. He'd never needed an employee. He'd needed someone to remind him how to be human.